that was also discussed this weekend on LeBron James's production company, Spring Hill's HBO show, The Shop. And LeBron, you'll never believe this, came to the defense of Anthony Davis. Here's what he said, quote, 7 years in the league,
this surprised me.
Ever said anything. No media, no fan, not a friend, not nobody's ever said anything negative about AD. But you can tell when the narrative changed. When you don't do what they want you to do. That's why we've got to continue to control the narrative too and continue to back each other up because they have so many people at the top of these food chains that will control your narrative.
What does that mean?
Who are the theys in this? Is it us?
I think it's definitely us. I think it's insinuated that it's us.
It's the media?
Right.
So, we're controlling the narrative because, first question, honestly, in your heart of hearts, did this saga negatively impact the way you look and feel about Anthony Davis as a competitor and a teammate and a person?
The only thing I didn't like was the plane out of New Orleans to get it to All-Star Weekend early with his agent. That was a bad look. When he left, nobody was really sure if his shoulder was even hurt. And let's face it,
he played.
They played
in an exhibition game
even though it was
3 days
a
later.
few minutes. Him bouncing and no one knowing what was going on. That's really been the look.
The answer is yes, but marginally.
If Davis and Clutch and all these guys wanted to hit the nuclear option to try to get him out of there before the trade deadline, they had to make it nasty. So you cannot like it, but I totally understand it.
Yes.
I've talked with guys about that where I go, hey, I kind of get. You may hate it, but I know they're trying to get there before the deadline in the beginning of February. So they had to make it nasty. And it doesn't work. But you also have to accept that when you go the nuclear option, people are going to be more upset about it. This isn't a hard formula to figure out.
And I don't think the narrative has changed that much. It certainly hasn't in my mind. I don't think Anthony Davis is an evil person who's subverting his teammates and hurting the hearts of the city of New Orleans and turning his back on them. I just think that he's look, I've been here for 7 years. It hasn't worked out. I'm looking at my career. I'm looking at my life, and I'm saying I don't want to be on this team anymore. The only way to get that done is for me to request a trade.
Yeah, this isn't a new thing here, but it's just that when you have a year and a half left, when all this stuff goes down, everyone around the league knows. I had heard before this season even started, this was going to be his last year here. It'll be the summer. I know your man Jalen said the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. So none of this is too surprising. But here's where I always think the player doesn't quite get it. You know that there are going to be repercussions for some of this stuff.
Yes.
Okay, we're not trashing you, and it can feel like you're trashing, but sometimes I feel like they're a little delusional about how some of this stuff works. Yes. Westbrook is a walking confrontation, and he gets mad that a kid touched him in the post game, and I'm watching all this happen. Go, okay, you know what? That's not what you should do, but it's also a kid. This isn't about privilege. This isn't about the zoo. This isn't all these other things.
Make a boundary everywhere. It's a child touched you on the elbow. You're okay.
Right, and you don't think that kid was horrified after the fact when he has adults sitting him down going, hey, dude, you don't do that. And then it turns into this massive thing. And I just think sometimes I go, this is not that big of a deal. Davis, the narrative, what they mean, you want it out. You had to make it ugly,
and I also feel like
it didn't work. That's all right.
Somewhat orchestrated by LeBron James. So LeBron James is in the chair looking at him saying, they did this to you. We know you're great. Don't worry about it. This will pass. You'll be on my team. And soon we'll both be losing playoff series together to the Warriors, but at least we'll be doing it together. That's what's going to end up happening. And one of my favorite things that come out of this whole saga is a woman by the name of Jeannie Buss.
Yes.
So happens to have owning control over the Lakers.
That's right.
She went to Sloan, and she said that the whole idea that the Lakers were pursuing a trade for Anthony Davis was fake news. In essence, that's what she said. Now, is she trying to convince us that the Lakers were not trying to trade for Anthony Davis, Mr. Russillo?
This one I was pretty lost on. I don't really know where to go with this one. When she said you're a loser if you don't want to play with Kobe, I get what she was doing. She's protecting the franchise and the guy that's meant everything to the Lakers. When she knocked people on the whole LeBron thing, that's her. That's her being prideful. Sometimes you can lose track of pro sports alignments and families. They're as strong as your love and emotion for a college that you went to. I mean, that's how they look at the Lakers out there. But this one is just...
I can explain it.
Go ahead.
I can explain it. I have a saying, everyone's a hero in their own movie. Everyone is a hero in their own movie. In Jeannie Buss's mind, she is perfect, and it is just outside forces that are coming after her that are the bad guys. And this didn't work out well for her, so there was probably one or two reports that were wrong. You know what I mean? There's probably a little details in some report that were incorrect. Maybe this one person wasn't in a trade package and they were. So in her mind, it's just this is all fake. These people aren't even reporting it right. This is fake. This is all fake news. But the way that she presents it is with no nuance. He's like, oh yeah, we were not pursuing Anthony Davis in trade. Like,
and you
really?
also used a term that basically everybody now, if you use fake news, like it's just no, everybody's out. But that's such a good point that you just made there, because whenever I like go back and read books about business and it ends up being some sort of lawsuit or something, like there can be a fundamental thing that you did right or wrong. Like if somebody goes, hey, you stole a car, you stole that red car. I'm like, the car was gray.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't yours. You got into it, you drove it away.
But I'm not answering that. But the car
anybody
was
in a romantic
not,
relationship knows that technique.